Ever felt like time slips through your fingers as you watch others settle down? That pull in your chest, that whisper of doubt. Today we face it head on. Imagine waking up alone. You lie in bed, the hum of the city outside your window, the silence in your room echoing louder than any conversation. You check your phone, no new messages, wondering if you're invisible. You scroll through feeds of engagements, anniversaries, holiday snaps with affectionate captions. A knot tightens in your throat. You ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Stoic masters like Epictetus taught that our peace lies not in externals but within. They remind us that longing for what we can't control is a recipe for misery. Your relationship status is an external circumstance, neither good nor bad in itself. The moment you anchor your happiness to outside events, you hand over your power. Action step. Begin this journey by declaring, I control my mind, not my title. Journal 3 things today that only you can give yourself. Respect for your decisions, purpose in your daily actions, and growth through challenges. Build this foundation of emotional sovereignty brick by brick. When you root your worth in inner virtue rather than social milestones, you untether yourself from anxiety. You begin living on your own terms, free, grounded, and ready for whatever comes next. We've all been there, stared at an empty chair across a candlelit table, imagining the words you'd say if love ever came. The silence feels deafening. Meet Alex, a 32-year-old professional burning the midnight oil. He used to believe validation from a partner was the final thread tying his life together. Every date became a test. Would she? Could she? Might she like his true self? Each rejection felt like a verdict on his entire worth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nothing external should disturb your calm." When you tether your self-worth to another's affection, you surrender your peace to forces you cannot command. You become reactive, chasing approval rather than authenticity. Practical. Each evening reflect on one choice where you acted out of virtue. Honesty, courage, or self-control. Maybe you spoke up in a meeting, chose discipline over indulgence, or held your tongue instead of lashing out. Celebrate that choice as proof you're enough, whether single or spoken for. Cultivate inner validation. Let your daily actions, governed by principle, become the measure of your value. As your character grows, so does your confidence. Relationship status becomes secondary to the calm conviction in who you are. Picture a man pacing his apartment late at night, phone in hand, heart pounding as he waits for a text reply. Anxiety floods every thought. This was Maya's pattern. A woman craving connection so badly she chased anyone who showed interest. She sacrificed hobbies, friendships, even her career, drawn by the illusion that another person's attention would fill her void. But each relationship left her emptier than before. Seneca warned against being enslaved by desire. When you yearn for attachment to soothe emptiness, you cultivate dependency, not freedom. True strength emerges when your happiness springs from your own actions and values. Your inner citadel remains intact, unshaken by external tides. Try this. Schedule one evening each week purely for yourself. Read a book, cook a favorite meal, or go for a solitary walk. Embrace solitude as your ally, not your enemy. Use that time to reflect on your goals, journal your thoughts, or explore a long-forgotten hobby. In solitude, you meet yourself without filters. You learn that you're capable of contentment, creativity, and inner peace. As you build a relationship with yourself first, Any future partnership becomes a choice, not a necessity. Have you ever watched friends pair off and felt a pang of loneliness so sharp it registers physically? That ache in your chest tells you something is out of alignment. Ethan faced this when his close circle all married. Barbecues turned into family gatherings where he felt like the odd one out. Instead of succumbing to isolation, he redirected his energy. He volunteered at a local youth center, found camaraderie in service, and rediscovered his worth in contribution. Epictetus said, "Don't seek for things to happen as you wish. Wish them to happen as they do. Accept your current station and use it as fertile ground for growth. External change follows internal mastery. When you fill your life with purpose, relationships become complements, not crutches." Action. Find one cause or group that resonates with you. Commit to attending regularly, whether it's coaching a community sports team, mentoring students, or cleaning local parks. Through consistent service, you cultivate connection, meaning, and confidence. By investing outward rather than ruminating inward, you'll discover that fulfillment comes from service and purpose. The same energy you spent longing for companionship transforms into genuine bonds built on shared values. Imagine meeting someone incredible only to freeze, afraid to open up, afraid to risk heartbreak. Those walls meant to protect you become your prison. Lena reached her mid-30s terrified of vulnerability. Past wounds had convinced her that opening her heart was too dangerous. Yet her Stoic mentor reminded her, vulnerability retained is potential unrealized. Emotional armor protects but also isolates you from life's richness. Marcus Aurelius insisted that courage is an absence of fear, but resilience despite it. To live fully, accept discomfort as part of growth, not a hazard to avoid. Shield up, you repel not just pain, but also joy, connection, and possibility. Reach out today to someone you trust, a friend, mentor, or family member, and share a thought you've kept inside. Notice the tremor of discomfort as you speak, then thank it for reminding you that you're alive. Each act of vulnerability chisels away at your armor, freeing you to experience genuine intimacy. As you practice vulnerability, you'll find that people respect authenticity. The walls you built to guard yourself transform into bridges connecting your inner world to others. You scroll past happy couples proclaiming eternal love. You ask, will I ever find that? Anxiety whispers, you're failing. But remember Seneca's wisdom. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Craving romantic completion as though it's the final piece leaves you impoverished when it's absent. True wealth lies in inner resources, resilience, curiosity, skill, and compassion. You can live a full, meaningful life alone. Don't mistake a relationship as the sole path to purpose. Instead, cultivate passions that spark joy, friendships that fuel growth, and routines that fortify your spirit. Create a strengths list of 5 personal qualities or talents, perhaps your empathy, discipline, creativity, humor, or reliability. Revisit it whenever you feel you're lacking. Use each trait actively today. Mentor someone in your field, tackle a creative project, or volunteer your time. Conclusion. As you invest in your strengths, you will forge a life rich in meaning. When a relationship enters your world, it will enhance an already vibrant existence rather than complete a void. Loneliness can twist into bitterness, watching others exchange rings while you nurse a silent grudge. Resentment poisons your heart. Alice's envy consumed her social feed. Engagement announcements felt like personal betrayals. Her sarcasm and sneers repelled genuine connection. Finally, she realized the envy was a self-inflicted wound, keeping her trapped in a cycle of negativity. Epictetus taught to turn obstacles into opportunities. Instead of resenting others' journeys, said, "I'll let their blessings inspire you. Their happiness doesn't diminish yours. Great fortune waits for you, but not when you are anchored by bitterness." Exercise. Today, when envy strikes, pause and transform it into gratitude. Write down one positive lesson you can glean from someone else's journey. Perhaps their patience, communication skills, or generosity. Celebrate it. Let your heart soften, making space for hope instead of hostility. Conclusion. Gratitude dissolves resentment. By celebrating others' success, you cultivate abundance in your own life. Bitterness fades, replaced by goodwill and the confidence that your time will come. Fear of rejection can turn a simple invitation into agonizing deliberation. You imagine worst-case scenarios and talk yourself out of taking action. James spent years too anxious to approach anyone he found interesting. His chance encounters never happened. Then he studied Stoicism and reframed his fear. What's the worst that can happen? You're no worse off than you are now. Stoic practice includes voluntary discomfort, exposing yourself to manageable risks to build resilience. When you practice enduring small rejections, bigger fears lose their power. You learn that rejection is not a measure of your worth, but feedback directing you forward. Actionable tip: choose one small step today. Say hello to a stranger at work. Send a friendly message to someone new or join a group event. Observe the outcome. You may be surprised by the freedom in simply trying, regardless of the response. Each risk you take chips away at your fear. As you build tolerance for rejection, you'll approach life boldly, energized by possibility rather than hampered by what-ifs. We often imagine a future rescue. Once I meet the right partner, everything will click. That fantasy delays your growth today. Mia believed she'd finally blossom once she found love. Yet when the relationship came, she realized she was still seeking identity through another person. The rescue never arrived because she hadn't rescued herself first. Marcus Aurelius counsels self-reliance. The impediment to action advances action. Your solitude is not a deficiency, but a crucible forging your character. Use this time to become who you wish to attract. Cultivate values, habits, and strengths aligned with your vision. List 3 qualities you admire in a partner: integrity, compassion, resilience, and then ask, do I embody those traits? If not, choose one and commit to developing it this month through daily practice. When you arrive fully formed, relationships become collaborations of equals rather than patchwork fixes. You become your own hero, not waiting for someone else to write your story. There's an itch to fill your calendar with dates, meetups, distractions, anything to banish the silence. But noise isn't the antidote to emptiness. Samuel booked endless coffee dates, hoping quantity would lead to quality. Instead, exhaustion set in, and his anxiety deepened. He paused and recalled Seneca's teaching. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. He realized he was avoiding the quiet that could guide him. Solitude invites reflection. In that space, you confront your values, hopes, and fears. Only then can you choose relationships aligned with your true self rather than chasing distractions. Meet exercise tonight. Turn off all notifications for 2 hours. Sit with a notebook, and let your thoughts flow. You may discover insights you never knew lay beneath the chatter. What truly matters, what you truly want. Embrace silence as a tool, not a punishment. In quiet, you'll hear the compass of your soul pointing you toward authentic connection rather than fleeting company. As time passes, the question surfaces, am I too late? You see younger peers advancing and worry you've missed your window. Helen believed her prime had expired by 35. She saw engagement posts and felt her timeline crumble. But as she studied Stoicism, she realized life isn't a race. The only deadline that matters is the readiness of your own soul, not society's calendar. Epictetus taught that life's length matters less than its depth. Don't measure yourself by others' clocks. Measure by the virtue and purpose you cultivate each day. Each moment offers a chance to live with integrity and courage. Write down your personal mission statement, what you stand for, regardless of age or status. Read it each morning to anchor your day and purpose. Let it guide choices big and small. Conclusion: when you orient your life toward meaning rather than timing, age becomes irrelevant. Depth of character transcends chronological constraints. Your journey unfolds on your terms. It's easy to let single shame creep in. The assumption that you're lacking something essential because you're alone. You interpret every rejection as proof you're deficient. Michael internalized this shame. Every date and failure fueled harsh self-criticism. Then he embraced Stoic symmetry. Externals don't define me. Only my judgments do. He stopped labeling himself incomplete and began treating each experience as data, not destiny. Stoic mindfulness demands we observe our thoughts, then decide which to accept or reject. You're not flawed for being single. You're human for feeling the tension. Acknowledge those feelings without letting them dictate your self-worth. Try this. When shame surfaces, name it aloud. I notice shame. Step back and question its truth. Replace it with curiosity. What can I learn here? Each time you interrupt shame, you weaken its hold and strengthen your autonomy. As you master your judgments, shame loses its power. You'll stand taller in your solitude, guided by clear-eyed self-awareness rather than self-reproach. Romantic ideals saturate our culture. Grand gestures, soulmates, destiny. You chase those myths, then crash against reality. Jay chased the myth of perfect love, only to abandon relationships when imperfection surfaced. Her Stoic teacher reminded her that virtue, not perfection, anchors bonds. Real connection grows from mutual respect, integrity, and patience. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Love the hand that fate deals you. Accept people as they are, with flaws and strengths intertwined. Seek partnership and growth, not fantasy. When you approach relationships as opportunities to practice virtue, you transform each interaction into a chance for mutual development. In your next conversation, listen fully without agenda. Show up curious and compassionate. Small gestures of respect, punctuality, attentive eye contact, honest feedback build real intimacy." Conclusion: as you shift from chasing myths to cultivating virtue, you'll find connections grounded in authenticity. Love becomes an active choice, not a fairy tale expectation. You long for companionship as a shield against life's storms. But if you tether your stability to another, what happens when they're unavailable? Tom built his world around his girlfriend's presence. When they parted ways, his identity crumbled. He discovered Stoic resilience. Your inner citadel cannot be breached by external loss. Cultivate self-sufficiency so relationships enrich rather than rescue you. Seneca advised to draw joy from your own virtue. Build your fortress within, discipline, wisdom, justice, courage. Then open your gates willingly, not out of need, but out of abundance. Your emotional equilibrium remains intact, whether single or coupled. Exercise. Identify one virtue you'll practice daily. Integrity in small tasks, courage in speaking up, or patience in traffic. Track your progress this week. Notice how each act reinforces your inner strength. When your stability comes from within, relationships add texture to your life rather than dictate your pace. You become both resilient and open, a rare combination that attracts genuine partnership. Here's the truth. Staying single too long isn't a curse. It's an opportunity to forge a stronger self, immune to chaos, anchored in virtue. Imagine standing atop your own character summit, surveying life with calm confidence. You've navigated solitude, adversity, and doubt, each trial polishing you like iron and fire. Relationships will come when they align with who you've become, not who you hope to be. You'll walk beside someone, not clutch at them. Stoic mastery means internal freedom. You choose your emotions, actions, and destiny. You're not waiting for life to happen. You're making it happen. No external change can disrupt the fortress you built. Now, take a deep breath. Commit to one practice from today's chapters, whether gratitude, intentional solitude, or courageous vulnerability. Reflect each night. Build your inner citadel brick by brick. When you're ready to share your strength, the world and someone special will meet you there. Your single journey is your greatest teacher. Embrace it. Your future self will thank you. Love this video, like it, comment, and also subscribe so that you don't miss more videos like this one.